In this example, we're going to be looking at a frequency table. And this one shows a person's gender versus their own body image. Part A is to convert the table to a relative frequency table. So what we need to do is we're going to take each value. In this case, this 560 represents the females who thought their body image was about right. And then we're going to divide that by the table total. We're going to do that to every single one of these. So what I'll do here is I'll just put the calculator down. You can see the calculation, but they're all the same after this. So we've got 560 divided by 1200, and that's going to work out to be a repeating decimal. So we have to choose perhaps a good value to round to. Let's round to the nearest tenth of a percent. So for the first one, we've got 560 over 1200, which is approximately 0.4666, and everything keeps going. To change this in a percent means per 100, and so what we'll do is we'll divide this by 100. Well, dividing by 100, or excuse me, multiplying by 100, my fault, we'll move the decimal 2 to the right. So this will wind up to be 46.66% or thereabouts. And so if we round to the nearest tenth, we're going to look at the hundredths position. That's a 6, so we'll round this up to a 7. So that's about 46.7%. So we'll write that right here. The next one is 295 divided by 1200. So we've got 295 divided by 1200. And that is going to be 0.2458. So if we move the decimal 2 to the right, it's 24.58. We'll round the 5 to a 6. So this will be 24.6%. We can do the column total here. 855 divided by the table total, which is 1200. And that's 71.25 or 71.3 if we keep with our rounding. Now these two here should add up to be 71.3. So for the table totals, or the column total, that should be the same as adding these percents here from the individual pieces of the column. Let's try the next one. So we're going to do the people who consider themselves to be overweight. That's that column right there. So we'll do 163 divided by, again, the table total. And we wind up with 13.6%. We can do the same thing with 72, always dividing by the table total. That's exactly 6%, so we can list that value. Again, just move the decimal 2 to the right. And then 235 divided by 1200 would be 19.6%. We'll do the underweight now. So we've got 37 divided by 1200. And this is going to be 0.031 if we round here, so it'll be 3.1%. We'll do 73 next. And this one was going to be 6.1%. And then we should do 110 divided by 1200. And we've got 9.2%. And that's the same here if we add these. If we add these up, we're good. We can total up now some things. So we've got to do this total column here. But at any time, you can just kind of double check your responses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 71.3, which is here, plus 19.6 plus 9.2, and that should be 100. Now it's 100.1 because of some rounding that we did, and that's going to happen from time to time. It shouldn't be 100.5. If anything, it might be just the nearest tenth off or something like that, so that's okay. Let's do the total column in the right-hand side. So this total column in the right-hand side represents the number of female respondents, and that was 760. We want to change that to a relative frequency, so we're going to divide that by the total number of respondents, which is 1200. So this one will be 63.3%. We'll do the males or the men, and we've got 36.7. That's all jiving. If you add these two up, you get 100%, and of course the table total divided by the same number should be 100%, and that'll always happen there in that column. So you can do a lot of things here to check your work. You can add up the percents here, the relative frequencies in each row, and that should be the total percent for that row, and you could do that for each row and then each column as well. So that's part A. We've converted this to a relative frequency table, and it says now how many people surveyed said that they were overweight. Well, this is not a percentage, so be careful here. It says how many people. It's not the percent, or it doesn't say what is the relative frequency. How many people surveyed said they were overweight? Well, let's look in the overweight column. Notice this is both male and female. It's people. And so we want to go to that total down here. And so the solution to this will be 235 people surveyed said that they were overweight. If it said how many males surveyed said they were overweight, well, that would be here, 72, or female would be 163. But again, read the question carefully, and you'll find that it's 235. We've got a few more questions to do, still based on this table here. So what I'll do is I will put this in as a viewing window, and then we will see if we can use this table here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the table, but we'll move it back. Hopefully you've got that written down in your notes. This says, what percentage of people surveyed are males that said they were underweight? Okay, so we've got a percentage here. We're talking about relative frequency, and we're being very specific here. It's males and underweight. So let's see if we can figure this out. Males and underweight. So that's this part of the table, and we want the percent. So this will be 6.1%. So once you convert that into a relative frequency table, it is relatively easy. That's a joke for you there. To figure out the percentage, because it's right there. How many males were surveyed? Well, this is not a percentage. This says how many males, or how many people, but in this case it is males, were surveyed. So let's look. Males, the total is 440. So that's what we want to write down here. 440 males were surveyed. The next piece, what percentage of people surveyed are happy with their body image? What percentage, okay, so now we're looking at that relative frequency, of people, not just male or female, but people surveyed are happy with their body image. Well, let's take a look. Happy with their body image, so that would be probably about right. You could argue this, that some people want to be underweight, but I would argue that if you're happy with your body image, it would be about right. And so we're going to look here, it's 855, or 71.3. Well, this is what percentage, so we're going to list that 71.3%. And there you have it, some information about a two-way frequency table. Enjoy!